uncomfortable to even look at him. Do you know how many decades I've had a crush on Jimmy Smits?
Come on. You know, besides this wonderful set, I've watched the show. I'm a fan of your show.
Thank you.
But backstage do you guys do shots backstage? They've got like a serious kitchen back there.
We have kitchens everywhere.
Everywhere. There's food everywhere.
That's why people come back to this show. We bribe them with food. Right?
Is there any stuff
No, there's
stuck
no
in my
stuff.
teeth?
I need to say hi to Jimmy. And he's like, this is terrible. And he's pointing at the food. I'm like, oh, what's the matter with the food? And he's like, no, I'm going to have stuff all in my teeth.
There's food like everywhere. It's great.
You know, we were reminiscing backstage today. All of our producers were like, oh my God, remember The Believers, the voodoo movie? Oh my God, remember Switch, one of the greatest comedies like ever? And then all the cop shows. I mean, Hill Street Blues and Law and Order, and I mean, on and on and on. You've been at LA Law. You've been a part of so many epic things. Do you have favorites when you look back?
Yeah, I mean, favorites because of different types of things. You know, LA Law is a favorite because it was one of my
There's
first.
such a fun on there, too, right?
Because it was one of my first big gigs,
yeah.
and the show left an impact. I've met lawyers now that say, you know, those guys really. I was on a plane once and somebody said, you know, application rate for law schools has increased since the show came on. So you know, it's like you feel like you did something. And Blue was really...
I always think I would have made a great real-life cop because I have very violent dreams. But do you think you would have made a great cop in real life or a terrific lawyer?
I would have let too many people go, I think.
You'd have been like, okay, I can see you're sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
So I am an enormous, not only cop show fan, but I'm an enormous thriller fan. I'm a voracious reader of thrillers. I think that's why I was so excited when 24 hit the air. It was done in such an extraordinary, it was filmed in such an extraordinary format. Were you a fan of the original 24?
Big time, big time. And I think you can say it has a... The show is titled 24 Legacy, and it's apropos because it's such a dynamic and iconic visual template.
Right,
you know, the way the show
following
looked,
everything real time.
and the boxes. It was one of the first shows that started all that stuff. And we're, you know, the guy that directed the original pilot, Stephen Hopkins, has directed this pilot, and a lot of the writers and producers that are involved. So we felt really comfortable that these guys know how to do the show. And then there's just a whole new cast of characters and...
What's the setup this time? Can you give us a hint? I mean, it's almost there. It's almost Sunday.
Yeah,
it's almost Sunday.
You got
it's
a
here.
really nice lead-in.
I know, right? Not bad. The biggest, right, television audience on the... I think you're teed up pretty good.
Yeah.
What's the setup for Legacy?
Corey Hawkins, who you probably saw in Straight Outta Compton. He played Dr. Dre. He's a wonderful actor.
I love that movie. I've seen it like 4 times. Phenomenal.
He plays an Army Ranger whose team brought down a terrorist at one point, and now there's a homegrown kind of plot that's happening, and they're kind of picking off all of his crew. So he's kind of dragged back into, you know, the fray.